dedicate this one to Punks for Progress. Punks for Progress.
This is one of my words of Punks for Progress.
Punks for Progress, never anarchy. Fight for your liberty. We don't want your government. We don't need your services. I'm an anarchist. I'm an anarchist.
Punks for Progress on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks, brother.
That sounds right up my alley.
That was a good day when you hear a punk say the word righteous.
Welcome, fam. This is the What the Fuck Report. I am Reverend Aaron. Welcome. We are going to, as usual, be taking a look at news from the revolutionary struggle via the Facebook Punks for Progress Facebook main page. I call it the main page because Punks for Progress has other pages as well. We also have P4P New York, P4P West Virginia, P4P Philly, P4P Indiana, etc., etc. But for the What the Fuck Report purposes, we go through basically the last 24 hours or so of posts on the Punks for Progress main page. It's an aggregate of posts from all kinds of our comrades that run all those pages I just mentioned and that kind of live all over the country, and it's just what's on their radar regionally and nationally and internationally in terms of the leftist struggle for revolution. We're listening to Steel Pulse at the moment. I've got a few other vinyls picked out for the show. What we're going to do before we actually jump into the Facebook feed is a couple friends, allies of mine, I went to Susanville, California yesterday, which is Saturday, in support of a very small, I don't know, about 60 people that came out in support of the George Floyd demonstrations and in support of Black Lives Matter. And so Susanville, just so you know, and we're going to get into it, I got video footage and everything, but just a basic kind of heads up about it. The entire population of Susanville essentially works for the prison. High Desert, I think, is the prison in California. And very, 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 very white. I saw numerous Confederate flag bumper stickers and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff by the population there. It was a really, really sort of unique experience. In my many years of going to demos, I don't know that I've ever experienced anything like marching for BLM in Susanville, California. So I'm going to tell you the whole story, and then we're going to go through the Facebook page, Punks for Progress main page, Facebook page, and check out news from the revolutionary struggle. But first, go ahead and check out this fucking video, and then we'll be right back with the What the Fuck Report. Hey, we're back. Listening to the specials. We're also going to be taking a look now at my experience in Susanville yesterday. Like I said, it is a town populated by predominantly people who work prison guards, people who work at the local prison, which means they're very, very, very right wing. They're very, very, very white. Here, let me show you. We'll switch this over and I'll show you about 7 minutes worth of images and video that I got put together. So this is one of two Trump barns that kind of welcomed us as we drove into Lassen County. I happened to catch a picture of this one, the second one, with the big giant Trump flag. Now, this picture just does not do justice to how predominantly that grabs your attention as you're driving down the freeway. And again, it's the second one we saw as we were coming into it. And then, so, another thing that was really fascinating, I think, about Susanville, is that every single light post and every single, in the grocery store parking lot light posts and street, lamp posts have these. They have these, anyone and everyone that's joined the military that lives in Susanville gets a flag. These aren't servicemen necessarily that gave their life. Maybe some of them have in the line of duty or whatever, but these are just people from their community that happen to be in the military, and they get a flag all down the main street. So this is a look at the beginning of the march. We had started at one spot. Wow, that wind's horrible. And this is the first stop we made during the march, which is the Veterans Memorial Building in Susanville. And there's, maybe about 20 or 30 people with us, and by the time we reached the end of our march, which we marched for about 2 hours, the crowd had easily doubled. Now this guy is very fascinating to me. Look at the size of that fucking flag off the back of his truck. Now he's offering water. And I said, I don't want anything from you. He didn't hear me. I said it essentially under my breath. But that dude made me very, very nervous. And anyone that's ever marched for Black Lives or against fascists, there's so many red flags with that person, it's incredible. And you're going to see as the video goes on, we did a 8-minute kneel, not yet, some people are already kneeling, but we're about to do 8 minutes of kneeling in honor of George Floyd, in remembrance of George Floyd. And while we were doing that, he came over in the middle, the guy with the big giant flag came over and dropped off an ice chest right in the middle of us, which terrified me. Just absolutely terrified me. I gotta tell you, anytime that if you were at a march, say in Berkeley or Oakland or Reno, and some person with a big giant American flag came and dropped off a big giant box in the middle of your march, just 9 out of 10 times, there's a bomb in there, man. Well, I mean, not that 9 out of 10 times that happens all the time, but instantly suspect. This is Susanville, though. This is a completely different community than Berkeley or Oakland or even Reno. And this is what I'm talking about, how this was a unique experience. What this dude did was he flanked us the whole time to make sure no one could hurt us. One of the people that there was... Actually, let me kind of back up and explain who I went with, and then I'll explain more about who this gentleman was and how I misread him. So a very good friend of mine, who I've known for a number of years in Reno, grew up in Susanville, went to high school there, grade school. He still has family there, and he saw that the local Democrats were putting this march together, and the Facebook chatter had been really gross and threatening and very racist, and that people of Susanville were really, really upset that people were going to march for Black Lives in that town. So Tyson just wanted to go and march with them and just be another body there in defense of those marching. And he asked some people from Reno to go. I'm one of the people he asked, and then we had another ally with us who was ex-military and who has medical training, and real righteous cat that went with us. And so it was the three of us that were from Reno, and then everyone else was Susanville people. Now, when this guy with the big giant flag out the back of his truck set his ice chest down there, I instantly started talking to my veteran friend about how I'm terrified of that box. We need to get that frickin' ice chest out of here now. There's explosives in there. I'll guarantee it. Who the hell does that? Who drops in the middle of people kneeling and puts an ice chest there? Like, it really terrified me. Okay? And I just instantly caught an image of it blowing up. And everyone that you see in these pictures right here, like you see the guy in the foreground with the gray t-shirt, like maybe a few feet just beyond him is where this guy had set the ice chest down. Directly in the center of everybody. If there was explosives in there, it would have blown all these people up, and that's what I instantly got an image of. And what my veteran friend, so I expressed this to my veteran ally and friend, and what he expressed was, maybe he just wants to give people water. And I'm going, nah, man, you see the size of that flag? Like, that's... I've been to so many marches, and when you see someone pull up with a big, huge, giant Trump flag or American flag flying out their truck, they came to that demo to either yell at you or to do harm to us. That's my experience time and time and time and time and time again. Now, I've also had people like that try to pretend to be our allies for the purposes of infiltrating and acting like, oh, our politics is the same and whatever. And we always tell them, nah, sorry, you're not with us. You're not saying Black Lives Matter. Be gone with you, right? You're not part of our thing. Now, first of all, I don't have a right to say that at this march. I'm not from Susanville. I didn't organize this march. I'm from out of town. These people know their community better. But as me and this veteran are having this discussion about how we feel about him, the guy in the truck starts pulling away. And I'm going, oh, it's definitely a bomb. Because why would he just drop off this ice chest and leave? Well, he didn't leave. He went over and he flanked us. He basically parked off to a side where he had a good vantage point to see us and to see the street. And he goes, that's a military tactic. That's what my ally says. He's flanking us to keep an eye out on us. And I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And he was right. He was correct. And he flanked us the entire day, kept an eye out on us, kept offering us water, did not get involved in our thing, did not... he just had taken it upon himself to make sure nobody got hurt, okay? And again, he probably knows all these people. It's a very, very small community. And that was just a unique experience. What I would take for granted as being like a fundamental, almost rule number one, when a big guy in a truck and a cowboy hat and a America Freedom t-shirt and a big giant flag flying out his truck pulls up to your leftist march, they're there to hurt you and they're enemies. But in this case, no. Now look, this is a very, 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 I want to really stress this. This is a very, very unique to Susanville circumstance. I stand by, if you're in a major city and someone comes up with a big giant flag like that, you need to be very, very skeptical of that person. If you're in a small community like Susanville and you know them, you can assess that better. But this speaks to a larger issue that every city's different. Diversity. The wonderfulness of diversity means it applies to so many things, like this situation. And it was an eye-opening experience. I don't know that I'm personally people were thanking this gentleman and shaking his hand. I'm not going to be doing that. I don't have anything in common with the guy that would fly a big giant flag out the back of his truck and play songs about American freedom. Okay? I don't celebrate the American flag. Slavery, genocide, and war. That's the history of this country that was never great. And that's where I stand. Now, that doesn't mean I have to hate that guy. It clearly has some basic human decency and cares about the people in his community. But my point being, in general, if you're in a major city, don't trust the guy that pulls up like that. And maybe that's a message to people like him. Like, there are people who, through experience, when you pull up like that and drop off a big fucking ice chest in the middle of it, that get terrified. And it's not because I'm a coward or anything. It's because my experience tells me, there's people showing up at these demos with crossbows and pulling out semi-automatic rifles and pointing them at demonstrators. I had good reason to believe that thing was going to fucking blow up. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and move on with the video. So this is right as we were going to do the, kneel for 8 minutes in remembrance in honor of George Floyd. And I gotta tell you, man, kneeling for 8 minutes, it'll do a number on your knees. Imagine having a knee on your neck for 8 minutes, though. But yeah, everyone was like, damn, that wasn't easy. What's coming up next is I just want to show this image because, again, that truck basically had nothing to do with us. That's just an average day in Susanville. That person drives around with a big giant U.S. flag and Trump flag. They didn't say anything to us. I was looking them in the eyes. They barely even glanced at us. And they went on in traffic and went about their business. There were a few cars that had kind of driven by a number of times that were making me kind of nervous, shaking their head at us, but they didn't say anything. Far more people were honking in support, which was really, really encouraging. And I know it was very encouraging to the people I was marching with. It meant a lot to them to know that there was that many people within their community that supported them, because they were pretty much of the impression that just 90% of them are racist. I mean, there's a serious racism issue in that town, clearly, but there's a lot of good people there that aren't racist. And you can kind of see, too, if you look up, I'll go ahead and point to it. Right here, it's another one of those, one of our kids joined the military flags, which is on every fucking, just astounding to me. I've never been in a city that had that. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, now we reached the City of Susanville Police Department. I gotta tell you, bless their hearts, man. They just kept marching right on by it. And I'm like, whoa, this is the police department. I'm like, we should maybe stop here. A bunch of the crowd kind of marched on, and they're like, oh, yeah, we should. And we did, so everyone came back. And this time the crowd is starting to grow a little bit, which is pretty cool. But I made sure I went over and got some footage from across the street as well. And when I got across the street, there was a dude parked in a truck there, in a white big old truck that yelled "White Lives Matter" to me, who was hours later on Facebook threatening these people online, and threatening my friend from Reno too. It was really hilarious, man. Hours after this action, a bunch of total racist pieces of shit from Susanville were telling people, like the Reno people that went, yeah, I dare you to come to Susanville. I shit you not. They were talking about, I dare you to come to Susanville. Okay? And we were like, yo, homie, we were there earlier today, and we walked around your town for like 2 fucking hours. Not that matters. We wouldn't have fought you or whatever it is you were. Literally, they were calling us, pussies, and tough guys think they're so badass. And nobody's trying to be a tough guy. Nobody's trying to be not pussies. I don't care. I'm a huge pussy. How's that? Cool with it. But I did march in their town for 2 hours and didn't hear a fucking peep out of the people who were 2 hours later on Facebook making threats and being frickin' Billy Badass and shit. Racist, man. They're fucking cowards. Which makes some of them unpredictable, especially if they have weapons. Because cowardice and a real fear of the entire world that you're too stupid to fucking understand makes you a dangerous animal. Yeah. But yeah, while I was filming this, that footage from across the street, I was told, White Lives Matter by a dude who threatened me hours later. Now, this is in front of the high school. And this is pretty cool because this footage will show you, that shows you about the size of the crowd that you've seen so far, but now you can kind of see we had literally about doubled by this time. You know, we're on the other side of the street from the police station now, the police station, the Veterans Hall, kind of getting to where we're wrapping up. We stopped here in front of the high school, and people took a bunch of pictures and stuff, and then you got to check this out. This is unfucking believably hilarious.
So that's a mom and dad that literally just dropped off their children to celebrate the oppression and racism of police force.
Seriously, so the gray truck just pulled up, let the 4 children out,
Child abuse.
and got in their car. I've never seen mom drop off their kids to do fascism and racism in public. That's a new one to me. You know, moms usually take their kids to, like, you know, sports practice or swim meets or, I don't know. I'm almost 50. I don't know what fucking high school kids do anymore. But, like, you know, to the local dance or to the rec center. But to do racist fascism, I just never seen parents drop kids off to do that. It's sad.
No racist police!
And I ain't trying to hate on these kids. What do they know? These are children that have been brainwashed by their parents. That's what that is. And I think the whole crowd was just a little stunned that, I mean, I think everyone was kind of expecting, like, kind of scary racist people to come out and threaten us, and instead it was a mom dropping off her 4 children. I don't know, fam. I had never seen anything like that in my life. And normally, I'm the guy who, when fascists show up at the march, I want to go stick my camera in their face and, you know, debunk everything they think they know about the world. I'm that guy. That's what I get off doing. But
So, how long did your mom say you could be racist today?
that's about all I had to say to him. I think I said one.
Your daddy too chicken to come?
Yeah, the parents stay in the truck, but let their kids march.
You don't have to be stupid your whole life. It's a choice. It's
true. It is a choice that they just aren't old enough to make yet, I think. I mean, they have to be held accountable to a certain extent because, you know, they know what the fuck they're doing. But do they know? Or was that something that their parents instilled in them? I don't know. But yeah, what a trip of a fucking experience that was, man. I really want to say to everyone in Susanville, what an honor it was to march with you. What a bunch of really fantastic, caring, decent people you all are. And I really, I can't say it enough. It just really was an honor to have the opportunity to march with you all for such an important cause. And, you know, I don't want to be the big city guy kind of laughing at the small town demographics and sort of nuances and unique peculiarities to that. But because it's just different, and it was fascinating and eye-opening, and I learned a lot from that experience. So I appreciate you doing that. But here's the bottom line, man. Those handful of people that did that, those are brave as fuck people, because they still have to live in that really, really racist community. And they they made a sacrifice by doing that. That now people didn't come out and point guns and crossbows at him. And no, the ice chest just had water in it. He was just trying to be a good dude. But I can guarantee that that community is going to talk about nothing but that march for the next week or so. And there's going to be some people who are really, really, really angry and frustrated that like that happened. And hopefully not, but there could be blowback for the people who took that stand Saturday. I really, genuinely, sincerely hope there's not. And just my sincerest appreciation and thanks for letting me march with y'all in Susanville. I'm going to play a quick video, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to check out news from the revolutionary struggle via the Punks for Progress Facebook main page. We'll be right back.
Grow up feeling they are invincible. And then at a certain point, they start looking at themselves and they start feeling that they're not enough. That's bullshit. They get the message that they're too skinny, that they need push-up bras, those are not big enough, or they need to find themselves, or they need to feel like sexual objects if their breasts are large. Just the way we look. Don't try to control us. We are not modern day virgin sacrifices.
Hey, welcome back, fam. This is the What the Fuck Report. That right there? It's Double Nickels on the Dime by Minutemen. Been needing to play this album in the last 2 episodes and finally got here. So, alright, we went through Susanville, and as promised, we are going to go through taking a look at news from the revolutionary struggle via the Punks for Progress Facebook main page. So here we go. Excellent.
I mean, I'm trying to say, how can I express?
Get past the pinned post there. And first thing we come to is a post from our comrades at Abolition Today. This is one of their teaser videos. Their podcast is every Sunday on Blog Talk Radio. You can get there via abolitiontoday.org. So their main podcast is every Sunday, but they also put up these teaser videos every week, and this is the teaser for this week's episode of Abolition Today. This is called "The Revolution Will Be Criminalized." Hold on a minute. Let's full screen that. I'm gonna go ahead and get me out of here. See, whoops, wrong one. Get me out of there so you can see the whole video. All right, here we go. What just happened?
Confessions to you, my Christian and Jewish brothers. First, I must confess that over the past few years I have been gravely disappointed.
Okay, well, I thought this was a new teaser video, but apparently it's just, well, I mean, it is a teaser. But a lot of times Max will do these and he'll have all kinds of just cool, informative stuff to add, like, you know, news clips and whatnot, but no, this is just something that he clearly made as a literal teaser for today's show, which you should definitely check out. What we got here? Sky News. I don't see any information. What's this? Oh, this is that shit from HB. The Huntington Beach residents. Actually, hold on a minute. Almost forgot Minute Man. All right. The HB residents protested the protesters from having a protest. You can see in my video how MAGA supporters tried to drive away the protesters. Believe whatever they're told by Fox News, man. That's fucking cool. Oh, Jesus. Come on. You know, literally, they just believe whatever the fuck they see on TV, man. This notion of the, you know, the bust-in protester. Like we're all on some fucking protester exchange. Now look, I just got done explaining how I went to a protest out of town. But that's because I had a very good friend that grew up there. He knew it was a small town. And because he had family there. And he asked a couple friends to come with him. That's a whole lot different than bussing in from out of town or whatever. There's no way I would have gone to fucking Susanville by myself. And I've never been invited to get on a bus to protest, and I've been at this for a few years now, okay? But that's what you hear from these people. You're not from my town, and they're talking to people that are from their community. That's what you guys need to get, you fucking idiots. These people you're screaming at that you've been told by Fox News that were bust in or are outside agitators, they're people from your community that are being oppressed, and you don't give a shit. You want to scream at them and call them and act like they're from out of town and pretend that racism doesn't exist in your community when it fucking does. Anyway. This is great. LA officers fall off their own riot truck. Then pepper sprays gravity in George Floyd protest. We seriously have to watch this. This is fucking funny. So there they fall off the shit. Now watch. What the fuck? Let's do that again. Like, seriously. There they are. They're rolling. Two dipshits fall off, and this one goes, oh yeah, street and air! How dare you! Let me fall through you that way. This is what we're dealing with, people. These are the people we gave legal right to beat the shit out of people. I mean, I don't know that they technically have legal right, but they sure fucking think they do. But we have given cops legal right to do violence. This is who within our community we say, yeah, we're going to let them do violence to people in certain situations. Now, these pigs think they can just do it whenever they want. And unfortunately, they oftentimes do get away with it. So it's this here. Active stills. Today, around 6,000 Israelis and Palestinians. Today, around 6,000 Israelis and Palestinians protest against Netanyahu's plan to annex parts of the West Bank in July. Rabin Square, Tel Aviv. Protesters held signs condemning Israeli colonization and occupation. Photos by Karen Manor, active stills. Let's take a look at some of these. Abolish Zionism. Nice. Oh, I love this song. This would be nice to scroll. Nice scroll, image scrolling music. That's cool. I like that's fucking cool. Solidarity, man. The working class is... We're global. Working class is the working class in every country, in every region of the world. We are the people. And we're being oppressed by the same capitalist mechanisms everywhere we go. Beautiful images. Let's kind of go like this to get out. There we go. Thank you very much, Active Stills. Amazing images. She's an attorney and they arrested her at home. Check comments section below for more info. Let's go ahead and watch this. Actually, let's go ahead and read a little bit. She's from Nowie, LA activist, organizer. Racism in Wisconsin. Stephanie Rapkin put her car to block on BLM protests, then spit on this young black man. One of the speakers at that. But blacks and brown caused violent protests. This woman showed up to a very peaceful protest. Let's take a look. God. Wow, lady. I don't think she's ever been that scared in her life. But look, man, she's still spitting at them. They're making sure that you're safe, lady, while you spit on them and insult them. They're still ensuring your safety. Jesus, man. Nope, gotta minimize. There we go. Thank you, Nowie. Good share. So if you want to go onto the post, you'll see there's a lot more information about kind of what went down there. Here we go. If you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Malcolm X, of course. A voice that has just never stopped being relevant. Ever. Here we go. More images. This is IWW Derry. Several images from Black Lives Matter Solidarity Action this afternoon at Guildhall Square in Derry. Members of the Industrial Workers of the World took part in the rally, which was estimated to have been in excess of 1,000 plus participants. Earlier in the day, several organizers of today's action were visited by the police and cautioned. At least one person from the Northwest Migrants Forum was threatened by the cops with incitement due to refusing to call off this afternoon's city center event. During today's rally, a number of speakers spoke of the need for people to take action and to draw a line between the recent murder of George Floyd by cops in Minneapolis last week. As members of the event gathered, the cops targeted those in attendance for contravening recent COVID-19 laws of gathering in a public place, issuing fines for attending the event. At one stage, the cops attempting to use a loudspeaker to warn those in the Guildhall Square to disperse immediately, only to be drowned out by a chorus chanting, "No justice, no peace." For anyone who received a fine today, please hold on to any documentation given to you. This must be completely contested and fine scrapped. At present, there is a fundraiser for those subject to any fine in both Belfast and Derry. Please share, please donate. So there's links there if you're in Belfast or in Derry. Belfast, that's England. So here we go. Anti-fascism is only a threat to a fascist. Looks like they're all practicing social distancing to me. Looks like only the pig is not practicing social distancing in that picture. Just saying. That's first time I've seen this image. That's just my initial impression. So they're issuing them a ticket for avoiding COVID-19 standards? Because he's the only one not doing that I see. Okay, next picture. Institutionalism and ghettoization of asylum seekers in Ireland is oppression. End direct provision. Again, all these people seem to be practicing social distancing standards. Here's a pig over here that isn't. Oh, there he is. There. That's fucking cool. Fuck 12. Okay, because I'm a dork and a punk rocker, yes, I have noticed the Mondo Creepers and all the Doc Martens. Just saying, I noticed. Not that it's important, because it really isn't, but, yo, Mondo Soul Creepers. Sorry. Punk rocker gonna punk rock, that's all. That's, you know, don't hate. Don't hate. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Standing up to racism from Derry to Minneapolis. Amazing. Oops. And that's all. Thank you, Derry IWW. Fucking fantastic images. And thank you to everyone that showed up there and were respectful of other people's health and space. Amazingly cool. It's up to all the fellow workers and WABs. How to be an anti-fascist from your couch. You don't have to punch Nazis to fight fascism. That is absolutely true. No one's going to be mad at you if you punch Nazis while being an anti-fascist. But not a requirement, contrary to popular right-wing belief. What's this here? As protests grow, big labor sides with police unions. Unfucking believable. Solidarity with all rank and file union, but sometimes leadership doesn't make the best decisions. I mean, it depends on the union, depends on the chapter of the union. Don't get it wrong, man. Unions are incredibly important, and I, for one, am in much, much support of unionization in general. But let's see what this is here. See, silence from the Service Employees International Union, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, United Auto Workers, Communication Workers of America, Unite Here, and the American Federation of Teachers. Labor leaders briefly talked about police unions in response to reporters' question Wednesday. They seemed uncomfortable. Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, said no union contract should shield employee misconduct, but that focusing on collective bargaining is a false choice. I think we have to do something nationally about the demilitarization of policing, she said. Joshua Freeman, a labor historian at City University of New York, said he's not surprised that the labor movement doesn't want to focus on police unions. It wasn't until the police killed Michael Brown and Eric Garner in 2014 that the labor movement began to acknowledge racism in policing, he said. But more existential questions about reforming police unions are still taboo. It's a very delicate subject. It's rarely discussed openly and out loud, Freeman said. The labor movement's quiet support for police unions comes at a critical moment. News outlets have described how Derek Chauvin, the police officer who tackled and murdered George Floyd, had at least 17 complaints filed against him, but never got more than a written fucking reprimand. Emphasis added. That has led some criminal justice reform advocates to call for changes that would curtail or outright abolish the power of police unions. So let it be written, so let it be done. The labor movement's silence on the subject so far suggests that it won't be an ally in that fight. Well, maybe it suggests, but it doesn't prove it. Hopefully, we'll see some more support in those realms. I don't claim to be an expert on union positions in relation to cop unions. It's one article, as posted by publicintegrity.org. I would suggest reading the rest of the article. Ascertain for yourself what you will from it. So this is Berlin. I think we should check this out. Yeah, 14 whole seconds. I have 14 seconds to check out a fantastic crowd in Berlin. Turn that Minuteman a little bit. Look at that. Wow! amazing. Oh, this is gnarly. This is brutal. March and Rally Los Angeles is the page. Violent arrest caught on camera in Compton, sparking outrage. Several political organizations backed Alex Villanueva in his campaign. These organizations, by not speaking up or doing anything, are complicit. There's a link to the full article. I'm going to go ahead and check this out. This is fucking gnarly. I'm going to caution you. I'm on the ground, he's saying. I'm on the ground. He's definitely not resisting. This other fucker has to come up and knee him 6 or 7 times while this other dude's kneel on his fucking head as he tells him, I'm complying, I'm on the ground. Talk to me about no fucking windows. Ever. Let's look at that again. Look at this.
Why y'all beating him?
Why? Why? Because that's your job. Because it's your job to beat the shit out of black people. Fuck the pigs, man. Fuck every fucking cop. You're all complicit in what I just watched. Every fucking pig is complicit in what we just watched right there. Every one of you. Fuck all you pieces of shit. That is unacceptable. And if you still have a badge and you see that, you're a fucking piece of shit and you're just as guilty for keeping it. You keep the fucking badge after you know that your fucking fellow gang members do this shit? How long has it been since the 13th Amendment was signed into law and the slave patrols became the police force? You've had plenty of time to change it from within, people. It ain't working. So any of you fucking pigs that think that's what you're doing, you're wrong. All you're doing is holding up a disgusting, violent fucking gang and its oppression and violence. And you're damn right. Dorothy and the gang are Antifa. You think that they wouldn't be anti-fascist? Give me a fucking break. That's beautiful imagery right there. Okay, actually, I shared this late last night. This is it's like an hour-long interview documentary with Genesis Breyer Peorage from Psychic TV and Throbbing Gristle and just a active, in-your-face, amazing. Since the 60s, they recently passed this year. Rest in power, Peorage. But I mean, on a huge influence on post-punk, on industrial, on like just post-Dadaist, and just an amazing and really boldly and openly into body transformation long before well, not before, but just a long-time trans activist and bold and unapologetic and confident in that activism. Genesis, if you're not familiar with Genesis Peorage, please make yourself familiar with their history. What an incredible decades-long career. And this hour-long piece here on YouTube is a fantastic introduction. And might very well be the last interview that Genesis gave. I don't know that for sure, but it's just so worth a view. And that's the end of that side of the Minutemen records. I'm thinking I should probably put on a little more music before we scroll on some more. How about Sam I Am? Let's see, you should be able to see this in there. I'll put this here. We're going to put this on. This is Sam I Am Sore. This is one of the first bands to ever get labeled as emo. Now, what you know as emo today, probably you won't recognize it from this. Bands like Sam I Am and Fugazi and Marginal Man and others. And I just want to point out, damn right, it's blue. It's blue vinyl. Okay, I have dorked enough. Sam I Am Sore. Here we go. This could be cool. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. So that would be Monday at 7 p.m. 13th virtual watch party. A bunch of people are going to get together and watch the 13th documentary on Netflix about the 13th Amendment exception clause. Not exactly sure who's putting that on, but that does look very, very cool. Why is Rand Paul blocking anti-lynching bill? All right, yeah, I talked about this for a minute or two in yesterday's show. I think we'll go ahead and watch this video. It's from Democracy Now! Let's read this here first, though. Against the backdrop of widespread protest decrying police violence against black people, Senator Rand Paul has moved to block legislation that would make lynching a federal hate crime. The Senate passed this bill last year, but Paul is now seeking last-minute changes to the legislation as a condition of letting it pass, arguing that the bill's definition of lynching is too broad. That does, quote, that does enormous disrespect to the lives, to the families of those who have had to live under this terror without any kind of justice being brought, says Emory University professor Carol Anderson, apparently in response to Rand Paul being a disgusting piece of shit. All right. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Georgia is one of the few lynching states.
Hold on.
Georgia is one of the key lynching states. One of the most graphic lynchings happened here in Georgia, the one that Senator Cory Booker was talking about, which was Mary Turner, who had protested because her husband was lynched. And they were angry at this woman who was 8 months pregnant, who dared defy them. And they hung her upside down. They stripped her naked. They burned her, and then they cut the baby out of her stomach.
Oh, God.
And stomped on the baby's head.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Georgia.
That's Georgia, huh?
And so hate crimes becomes one of those very slippery ways that the state does not have to come to grips with the damage that it has done and that it continues to do. And I would just say on the whole issue of lynching, the fact that you had during George Floyd's memorial service, Rand Paul blocking an anti-lynching law named after Emmett Till also speaks volumes about where we are as a nation. The NAACP had tried since the 1920s to get federal anti-lynching legislation passed. And this is at that moment where you are seeing one horrific lynching after the next. There's a key moment in the mid-1930s where it's after the lynching of Claude Neal, the spectacle lynching. And that's where the lynching is actually advertised. And that is when they sell tickets. And Claude Neal is taken through a gauntlet of torture and tortured for hours, and his body parts cut off, and he's forced to eat his own genitalia.
Wow.
And the NAACP is pressing hard for a federal anti-lynching bill. And two senators from the South, Jimmy Burns and Tom Connolly, blocked it. They mocked it. They laughed. Fucking they did almost a routine on the Senate floor. making lynching a joke. And so when I
So
see
foul.
Rand Paul talking about, well, we don't need to have this being, so extensive. So we need to make sure that just when somebody is slapped, that's not called a lynching. That does violence
Damn right.
to the thousands upon thousands of African Americans who have been lynched. That
Word.
does enormous disrespect to the lives and to the families of those who have had to live under this terror without any kind of justice being brought.
There you go. DemocracyNow.org. Oh yeah. Antichrist Demon Corps. AC/DC for short. Satan is King. Fantastic fucking leftist album. Songs about black blocs and propaganda by the deed and whatnot. And Satan, of course. This isn't necessarily a leftist issue, but when your band is called Antichrist Demon Corps, and the album's called Satan is King, better be some fucking Satanism on there, is what I'm saying. And there is. And there's also some fantastic, righteous, true, real leftist sentiments expressed on that album, too. Great fucking grindcore. Check it out. Oh, this is a good song. South LA protesters launched George Floyd-inspired march from LAPD office to sheriff's station. DailyNews.com. Got a look. Okay. See this motherfucker right here? This racist motherfucker right here? He's a murderer. These motherfuckers with their, I can drive trucks and we gotta drive through them and shit. It's just disgusting. So, this is another post from our good friend and ally, Naui. Update. Robert Forbes has passed away as a result of his injuries. Our deepest condolences to his family and to all those mourning his death. All funds will now be held in trust for funeral expenses and for his family. On 6/3/2020, at approximately 10:23 p.m., a Bakersfield man, Robert Forbes, was peacefully protesting with a large group when he was run down by a fucking car. The group of protesters was obvious to everyone in the area, and many cars navigated the area safely. A local reporter himself witnessed that the car sped up in the moments prior to impact. This is confirmed by an independent witness. The peaceful protester was a black man, and the car that sped up into him was driven by a white supremacist named Timothy Keith Moore. The driver was apprehended after people at the scene chased after him. This white supremacist ran his car over Robert Forbes, a black protester in Bakersfield, California, on Wednesday. Forbes died today, after 3 days in the hospital. The killer's name is Timothy Keith Moore. He has the fucking Nazi 1488 symbol tattooed on his shit, and has a long history of, surprise, surprise, domestic fucking violence. This is the aftermath of what this motherfucker did. Rest in power, Robert Forbes. This is for real, man. And these fucking idiots think this is some civil war that they get to go kill people in. They think because they get on fucking social media and make jokes about running people over with their cars and running over protesters and liberals and whatever, and that they can actually just go do it. That's okay now because lots of people are protesting in the streets. So that means, yeah, it's okay. And plus the president tweeted some shit about Antifa. So we get to go out and kill people now. And it's fucking... It's terrifying. You know, we talked a lot on our way to Susanville yesterday about being prepared. One of the reasons that my friend wanted to go is because we had legitimate fear that something like this was going to happen. And it only takes one or two unhinged fucking racist white supremacist piece of shits to pull out a gun or a vehicle or a bomb. Because they think what they saw on Breitbart or on Fox News or on One America News Network, that somehow they just can legally just go out and murder people now. Which you can. Even if the cops think it's cool and are happy that you did it. Listen, leftists. Cops and Klan go hand in hand. I'm a full advocate. I don't personally own weapons because I'm an ex-felon. But I'm a full advocate for leftists engaging in responsible gun ownership. That's actually like a 4-hour stream from Seattle yesterday. Fucking amazing. They have come for your uncool niece. American Secret Police. Trump deployment of unidentified law enforcement officials across D.C. That's right. No badge numbers, no nothing. How are we supposed to know you're actually even police? How are we supposed to recognize your so-called authority? Just a question. Like, if you don't have something to signify and prove that you're a sanctioned member of quote-unquote law enforcement, how are we to believe you're not just some fucking asshole in black fucking riot gear that they bought online pretending to be a cop? I don't know. Just questions. Just questions. Foreign correspondent. This is from progressive.org. The rest of the world sees uprisings, not riots. Ain't that the truth? Perspective. Oh, this is fucking cool. Racism. There it is. There's racism caught on the cell phone. That's, you know, what happened to George Floyd, Eric Garner, Philando Castile, some of the videos we've been watching in today's feed. It's big. That'd probably sink a Titanic, that iceberg right there. No bullshit. But, bottom line is, that's what it's hiding underneath. Okay? What you see on the cell phone? What you're not seeing on the cell phone. An illustrated iceberg. The portion of ice above the water is labeled racism caught on cell phone. The portion of ice below the water, which is many times larger, is labeled racism. Excellent. Excellent image that says so much. This is unfucking believable, man. Denver police held 3 black children at gunpoint. Children! Handcuffed their unarmed father, attorney says. Yeah. What are the police for again? And if you're really on this protect and serve kick still, really? Protecting and serving us from 3 children and their unarmed father? Please don't protect me from this man and his children. I'm not concerned about this man or his 3 children. I imagine he just went there to get food and shit, and I don't see why I need to be protected or served from him. Pigs. Oh, that's right, because you're not protecting me or the citizens of this country from this person. You're making sure that this person, his children, know for the rest of their fucking lives that they need to be subservient to one fucking class, and that's the billionaire fucking ruling capitalist class and the pigs that do their bidding. That's what they were protecting and serving. Go to Santa Ana, California yesterday. Full live stream. I think it's about a half-hour live stream there. Oh, this is cool as fuck. It's like the history of the shackles of slavery. Generational oppression.
You ain't that big, fella.
I ain't that big? No. Oh, too bad. Well, I get one of my friends to come down and do it.
You better bring 3.
Ah, what an amazing image. Phone's ringing, Sam. I am. You might want to get that. Thank you. And these pieces of shit. These people will come out and say they hate cops. They are not our fucking friends. These are these Boogaloo Boys pieces of shit. Camouflage, the Hawaiian shirts, the armed far-right extremists in Las Vegas charged with plotting terror attacks. They want to co-opt this movement for George Floyd and turn it into basically just the destruction of society and a truly chaotic civil war. They call it anarchy because they believe anarchy means chaos. They don't know that anarchy is a form of socialism that calls for the end of capitalism and authoritarian tyranny. And it's causing a lot of confusion with a lot of people who don't understand what anarchism is, and they think that, because these Boogaloo Boy motherfuckers, they're just militia, right-wing shithead terrorists that call themselves anarchists because they've believed the stereotype. See, anarchy is chaos, and anarchists want to just burn everything and destroy it. That's a lie. That's a stereotype about what anarchism is. Okay? That was created by our detractors to scare people from embracing anarchism. And these idiots have come along and embraced the stereotype lie as the reality and their outlook of the world, and they want to wreak destruction on society. And there's people who think that they're somehow ideologically aligned with anti-fascists because many anti-fascists are real anarchists, socialists, libertarian socialist anarchists. And I know it gets confusing, but libertarian socialist anarchism is the original true anarchism. Libertarian anarcho-capitalism anarchism is a bullshit. It's a lie made up by fascists to confuse people, to literally manifest in this, where people are right-wing extremists, terrorists, fascists, who think they can call themselves anarchists, when they're literally the epitome of everything a true anarchist would fight against. These people uphold capitalism. It's just... Anyway, that's definitely worth a look at this article. Far-right extremists in Las Vegas charged with plotting terror attacks. Boogaloo Boys. Maybe we should listen to this. This is actually pretty cool. So what this is this guy Lewis Burner. Hi everybody, hope you are okay. Here's a version of Woody Guthrie's song I recorded. I oppose fascism in all its forms and always will. Feel free to share. And he talks about kind of the history of the instruments he used to record it with. But I'm going to play it. I'm just going to let it play while we scroll a little more. A little loud. Oh, it didn't continue playing. I thought it would continue. Oh, well. My bad. Anyway, please check that out. Usually when I scroll down, it opens another box and keeps playing. That's what I thought it was going to do. But it's well worth a listen, but I don't want to sit here and just stare at that Antifa. So we're moving on. Sorry, Lewis. Please go check it out, the video, though. It's really good. He did a fantastic version on that song. Somebody else shared this same Rebel Diaz video I played in yesterday or 2 days ago. What the fuck reports ago I think I played this. Excellent. Please give this a look if you haven't seen it yet. So good. Go Action. Link to an event page for Action. Righteous Rising moves to fascism. Another world is possible. New York City. Oh, that's today at 7 p.m. Sunday, June 7th at 7 p.m. So that's in about an hour from when I'm recording. So by the time you see this action will have already happened. We'll probably have video for it on our page. Look at that mural. Amazing. Solidarity mural drawn on the apartheid wall in the occupied West Bank. I'm assuming West Bank is W. Yeah, that's fucking beautiful. Vice News, live in D.C. for the Black Lives Matter protest, which is expected to be the largest the city has seen since the murder of George Floyd. From yesterday at 3, and it's a full stream if you want to check it out. This is from Westminster, California, yesterday. There's one here that I think it's this. There's one that was 5 minutes that has that. Yeah, it's this. I haven't listened to it. I was glancing through and saw it that he featured this one gentleman's speech, and I would really like to see it. I hope this is. Yeah.
It's affecting not only adults, it's affecting young children. They can't even go to school without hearing about young children have to watch this at a young age and build resilience about seeing black bodies getting killed at a young age and build empathy at a young age. They shouldn't be having to deal with this at a young age. I didn't build resilience around black bodies getting killed at a young age. Why would they have to deal with this at a young age? That's not right. Is that right? Is that right? That's not right. That's right. But, before we start with some other speeches and other issues, I wanted to lead you guys into a very meaningful die-in. So I want everybody to spread out equally, 6 feet apart if you can, and I want you to lay it on your belly or on your back.
Spread out one more time. Spread out.
Make sure you spread out 6 feet apart because of how close we are in a pandemic.
Oh, like this? So no feedback, right? Yeah, not too far. Maybe, yeah. Spread out.
I want you to spread it equally apart out so we can fill this whole parking lot up.
After this, if you can step up to the podium, okay?
Okay. You want to go with you now? Because I'm going to lead this guy in. Thank you. I need everybody laying down, and I need everybody silent. I won't start till everybody's silent. So, I'm just going to guide you through the situation. And what I ask of you today is to fully be in the present. You are here with us today, so I ask of you to fully be in the present. And I want everybody to close their eyes. Close your eyes fully. And imagine yourself taking a real good deep breath. So on the count of 3, I want everybody to breathe in and then breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in and out. Take 1 deep breath in and breathe out.
There you go. You know, there's all different ways to express, to show reverence. These die-ins, you know, it gets all quiet. It's not action. It's not riot porn, right? But it's to illustrate so many messages. One of the things that I get from the silence is how the life is silence. Help us remember that that's what we're all going in the streets for. Not just to, you know, show how not racist you are. It's about how we need to draw attention to the fact that cops are murdering people and ending lives. It's real. You know, that's... I don't know. Again, it's not, you know, fantastic and exciting video, right? It's not cops bashing heads in so we can go, look, see, this is gnarly, we hate the police. There's more to it than that, right? There's more involved in educating people about this, and we need people to understand the seriousness and the finality of what those fucking pigs did to George Floyd. Okay? It's not... It's not just a cool video for clicks to show how edgy you are and how much you care. And you know, I'm having issues, by the way, while I'm playing with the computer. For some reason, it's not casting from my other computer to the screen anymore. So why don't I pick out a record to get started here, and then I can troubleshoot that, so at least we have something cool to listen to. I'm going to go with this comp here. Light shining right on So we're going to play side 1, which has the Mekons 2.3 and the Human League. All the recordings on this album are kind of rare cuts and singles from 78 to 79. Fucking love this record. There we go. Side 1. Starting off with the Mekons, followed by 3.2, and then it goes out. The last 2 songs are by the Human League.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm never being right. I'm never being the fight. I'm gonna be everything. When it's time all goes the boys, the corner face the boys. I'm always in the corner, missing out the noise, missing out the noise.
Retrieving data, it says. Maybe we'll get it back. Maybe we will not. Who knows? Meanwhile, we got Mekons. We'll get it figured out. No, it's not recognizing it still. It's still here. Nope. Fascinating. We might have to cut the show short if I can't get this to go. Yeah, it's not. Oh, there we go. I think we got it. Yay! There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you for bearing with me. So that was Westminster. That was Westminster, California, where they die in. There's a bunch of other videos at this VROC Viet Rainbow of Orange County. That was their video we just watched. And there's 2 or 3 posts from them on the page. I'm going to see more from what went down in Westminster, California. It's Brooklyn. Live from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York City. 3,000 people are breaking the curfew. That was 22 hours ago now. That was Saturday. Here we go. This is a great post for all the punk rockers. Joe Strummer. I think people ought to know that we're anti-fascist, we're anti-violence, we're anti-racist, and we're pro-creative. We're against ignorance. Joe Strummer. And then Henry reminds us, this is not the time to be dismayed. This is punk rock time. This is what Joe Strummer trained you for. How true is that? And to all the beautiful people out there in the streets, stay beautiful and fuck the police. It's Marilyn Manson's the beautiful people. The beautiful people. Yep. Looks like 2 of our admins shared that post. That happens. We double up sometimes. Live stream from Los Angeles from yesterday. Union del Barrio, Los Angeles Community Car Caravan Against Police Terrorism. This was 23 hours ago. Okay, so yeah, this is an action that would have happened this morning. I'm giving cautions. Another former Panther who is a political prisoner will be calling in from prison to address the COVID-19 crisis inside of the prisons. Wow, that sounds like it was cool. Oh, this is a good song. United Against Police Terror San Diego. This was a caravan demo. Live stream. Huntington Beach, downtown, Sunday, 6/20, 11 a.m. HB protest, BLM protest, Huntington Beach Live. If you like what I'm doing, please like and share. This is full live stream. Okay. You never know what's going down in HB because... One of my comrades sending me links. Holy shit, did you see this, Radcon says. I'm sure I will. The plan is today, by the way, we're going to do... Once I'm done recording this episode and get it downloaded and processing, we're going to record a weekend What the Fuck report. Even though I'm actually recording this one on the weekend, technically, this is just a regular What the Fuck. But we're going to do a weekend What the Fuck fam chat. We're just going to get a few of the comrades on. It's like a Zoom style. Yeah, we're going to hang out and just see what's going on with all the comrades and do check-ins and see how everybody's doing. I play some music and just kind of hang out. And I think it should be really fun. So keep an eye out if you're watching this. It may already be posted at the same time. I don't know at this point, but it may post soon after this video post. So anyway, I just wanted, seeing Radcon message me, I wanted to kind of plug that we were going to do that and let you know to keep an eye out for it. So this was also Huntington Beach. Yeah, that's a 2-hour stream. Whoops. Chief accuses RCMP of beating him, manhandling his wife over expired. Chief Alan Adam of the Athabasca Chippewan First Nation is accusing Wood Buffalo RCMP of beating him and manhandling. I don't know what that is. Black Lives Matter San Diego live stream. Yeah, this must be SoCal Shannon then. I based my first report on this article. Unfortunately, Orange County, California likes to hide the racist history much like the rest of this country. This really is a fantastic article. A brief history of the Ku Klux Klan in Orange County, notes on the banality of evil. And what Shannon's talking about in her, I based my first report on this article. Here, I'll show you. She's talking about this. It's 2 parts. Behind the Orange Curtain, Orange County's long history of racism, parts 1 and 2. This really is a fantastic video. It's 36 minutes. The second part is an hour. And SoCal Shannon just really, really did the homework on these. But that's what she's referencing in that. So I thought I'd show you that. It's in the SoCal Shannon playlist on our Punks for Progress YouTube channel. And also read that article. I mean, basically, much of Orange County was founded by the Klan. Straight up. All the people that were involved in the city councils and whatever, the first legislatures and stuff that set up counties and cities. Klan, all of them. Like, almost across the board. One of, if not the largest population of Klan members at the time when all those cities were being founded. Incredible. I'm not sure where this... Oh, Los Angeles. Another live stream from Los Angeles. This is gnarly. Rest in peace to Rest in power to Sarah Grossman. She passed after police sprayed her protest group with tear gas, triggering her asthma, eventually leading to her death at a Columbus hospital. She's gone because she wanted to stand in the street and say, "Stop killing black people," for no reason. And she was murdered for it. Oh, it was an accident? Is that what it was when the cops did violence to her and it resulted in her death? Was it an accident that they fucking tear gassed her? Nah, it wasn't. They murdered this little girl. Young woman. Jesus Christ, it's so disgusting. What is she? Teenager? Early 20s at best? I see a child. She may be a grown woman. That's why I said little girl. I don't mean to call women little girl. That's very disrespectful. I see a child. That's what I see. I'm almost 50, okay? Whether she's in her 20s or teens or whatever, she has her whole life ahead of her. She had her whole life ahead of her. She wanted to do a good thing and look out for black people who were being murdered. And cops killed her for it. This is madness. New madness. 2 madmen and a string quartet recorded at our London lockup a couple days ago. A socially distanced and stripped back performance. That's not all, folks. We'll be back soon. Interesting. I want to watch this. It's 36 minutes, so we're not watching the whole thing. It's a full set. How fucking cool. That sounds so good. Just come on. Gets the wind in his head. He reaches his last half mile. Definite smile. Just don't sit with sand. I know where these south down the river now. Folks south down the river now. Get us, guys. So fucking cool. What a fantastic version.
Hey, Madness fans.
Hi.
Been a weird old time, hasn't it, eh? To say
Yes,
the very
it is.
least. So, what I thought was, I've sort of had enough of pop stars' paintings, bread glasses, Pilates. I did that for about half an hour and then pulled me ribs. And then I learned to play the piano and Italian. I've been doing nothing. I've been lying on a sun lounger drinking beer. But hey ho, we just thought we'd like to do something for you. Welcome to our new space. This is a little environment. We've got ourselves me and Barzo and the London String group.
which is Tina, Fred.
Sorry, fam, I'm into this. This is cool.
Richard, Sam, Ruth, and Tina Sparkle.
I hope you're enjoying this too.
A few songs, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear at least one more song. MK2.
There's a motor parked on the cobbles of a Chelsea music out of the shadows. Slips a figure, silver mohair bright, into the moonshine, out into the night. And in the darkness, when the stray moonbeam creeps through the curtain of unmade bed, she stares at the ceiling, just an empty feeling. He starts the Jaguar, drives away. And no one breathes a word, 'cause even breathing can be heard. Run through the silver screen. They've made inquiries, they'll take it easy, but she won't answer 'cause she's not really there. He throws his gloves out the open window. He lights a cigarette, drives away. Lights a cigarette, drives away. Yeah, I hope you're all doing all right out there. It's most bizarre, isn't it? And it's most dreary, you know, going through our diaries, working out what gigs we're not doing tonight. And in fact, when we talked about doing this, I rang Tina and I said, have you got anything on next week? And she put the phone down. She thought I was taking the piss. Have we got anything on as musicians? No, we haven't. Anyway, that's not the point. We're here to cheer you up a bit. And I don't know. We've got a couple of plaintive numbers, a couple of...
All right, if you want to see the rest, you're gonna have to go to the page. Whoops. Oh, get out of there. Okay. Let's see what's going on over here. What else we got happening? Did I go too far? No, that's still it. That was really fucking cool. I do believe I'm going to watch the rest of that myself later. But Revolution Club in Los Angeles. That's a full live stream. Oh, hey, wait. We got music, yo. Let's see. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the last song by 2.3 on this comp. And then what follows is 2 songs by the Human League. Student-led protest. We demand racial justice. Stearns Wharf, Cabrillo at 12:30 p.m. Oh, so that would have been today. Now we're getting close to the end of the feed here, but San Marcos, Santa Barbara, Dos Pueblos, Bishop, Diego, Carpinteria, La Cuesta, Providence, Alta Quista, Kate, Laguna Blanca, Anacapa, etc. So bring masks and bring water. It's a Juneteenth Santa Barbara. Okay, that's what that's about. Fantastic. I would say you could probably go to the Facebook page if you're more curious about what became of that, and I'm sure we have links there. Oh, this is fucking disgusting. This is from Daryl Lamont Jenkins, longtime anti-fascist. Anyway, BLM March in Northwest Indiana was treated to this site. One of them makes a really good observation about the peaceful rally. Quote, they ain't got no guns. So yeah, they've heard so much hype But what a dangerous terrorist, whatever, Antifa, anarchist, and whatever, that they came out to protect people from them with their guns, and it's only until they get there. And really what it is they just want to shoot people because they're fucking sociopathic fucking freaks and terrorists. But they're amazed to find out when they get there, oh wait, these people aren't like trying to kill anybody. They're actually astounding, the disconnect from reality that they have. Look at these scums. Oh, come on. One. Yeah. So that's you know, that's who I thought, you know, when I was in Susanville and saw the guy pull up with the truck. I was expecting him to be like these people. And he wasn't. And again, that's not like to say that you should just instantly start trusting people with big giant flags out the back of their trucks. I would, again, suggest that you just, as a general rule, not trust them. That was such a unique experience in Susanville. Jeff Abarto was live. That's Jeff from Total Massacre. He doesn't normally go live, and it's public. I think I want to see what this is. 12 minutes.
Here I am in Simi Valley.
Oh, he's at a demo. Fantastic. In Simi Valley, he said. So that's Jeff from one of our favorite fucking bands in the whole world, Total Massacre. We've played Total Massacre on the What the Fuck Report many times. There's a reason why we like them so much, because they don't just sing about it. Clearly, they get in the fucking streets and do something about it too. It's an OG Human League you're hearing. That's some marching music. Anyway, fantastic, Jeff. Thanks for getting out there. Thanks for sharing the video so that we could show people what's up in Simi Valley. That people are coming out all over the place for this, man. It's not going away. This Unicorn Riot has just been, like, most of the early footage you might probably saw early on from Minneapolis was Unicorn Riot's feed. Fucking on top of their shit. You just follow Unicorn Riot on every streaming platform if you want to get proper fucking footage from the struggle. These are the people who get out there and they go to actions, real prominent actions. They were out at Standing Rock the whole time, and they're just legit as fuck. Please check out Unicorn Riot. Here's some of the lives we lost during recent protests. Jesus fuck, just some. People shouldn't be losing their lives because they protest in the street. And here's just 3 of them. And what do you know?
Circus of Death.
3 black people.
True story of a circus we met. The first 2 verses concern the actual arrival at Heathrow Airport of Commissioner Steve
Unbelievable. I mean, it's not unbelievable. I just don't have words.
Showing the range of the circus.
God, that fucking headline just freaks me out. Here are some of the lives we lost during recent protests.
A shortwave radio message from the last man on Earth.
Okay, so I've mentioned Ahmed Khalid al-Najjar in previous What the Fuck reports, a comrade from Palestinian comrade, anti-fascist. And I mentioned in one of our recent What the Fuck reports that he has all these stuff that he shares all the time that shows, you know, the knee to the neck, the I can't breathe that we saw, the way George Floyd was murdered, the tactic used to the trained tactic used to murder George Floyd is really, really common in the IDF. And I've told you that we share a lot of stuff from him about this. And here's one example. So go ahead and check it out. Hold on. I'm cautioning you, this is graphic. There it is. Seen that before.
خليك قدامك خليك وقت طيب لازم جندة ولا ما عسى جندة ما فيش معاه شيء.
There it is, another angle.
ما في معاه شيء.
Jesus Christ, look at this. Like just getting him down there, preparing to put the knee to the neck. They all know, okay, get ready, we're doing the knee to the neck thing now. Get him down there, get him in the right position to do knee to the neck. These are Israeli forces against Palestinian people. It's not an accident what that fucking murderous pig did to George Floyd. This is what the militant fascism does to the people it's trying to keep in line and subservient to its fascism. I'm getting pretty close to stuff I've already covered. There's a event page for an action for June 25th, Thursday, June 25th in Boyle Heights. It's a Pride March. Pride is racial justice. Putting black and brown people out front. That's very cool. Yeah, this is fascinating. The other 57, one of my comrades asks. The other 57 what? Oh, Buffalo police officers arrested after shoving 75-year-old protester. So they arrested two of these fucking pigs that knocked the elderly gentleman down and where he was bleeding from his head, and then they just consciously said no, fuck them, and went on to arrest journalists instead. And a shit ton of people like quit the force or whatever in protest that people were asking for these people to be held account for what they did to this elderly gentleman. Many of you seen the videos, even been on CNN, and like it's been on mainstream outlets and stuff too. So I'm not gonna. So it's just one of many, many disturbing images. But yeah, two of these people have been arrested, and I think this is a fantastic question. One of my comrades asks, what about the other 57? Because 57 officers said, nah, man, we think that they should just be able to knock elderly gentlemen down to the ground so that they bust their head open and bleed all over the pavement. Because we're cops and we can do whatever we want. And if I want to bust your fucking head open, I can. See, this is what the struggle is. This is what all these George Floyd protests is about. And it's laying bare. These cops are going, no, my job and I get to beat you. Well, humanity's saying maybe not. We kind of don't want you to do that. And they're going, no, I will. And it's a back and forth and a back and forth that it's going to give. And I think the people are going to win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Israeli police kill unarmed Palestinian man with autism. Full size this.
عليهم عدموا لي اياه بدم بارد.
Let's take a look at that one more time. Short enough. I want to do that once more. And I'll go ahead and read the captions for those who might appreciate that. Israeli police killed an unarmed Palestinian man with autism. 32-year-old Iyad El-Halak was shot by Israeli police officers in occupied East Jerusalem. Police said they thought he had a pistol. No weapon was found on the scene. Aren't they ashamed? His mother says. They executed my son in cold blood. Iyad's father said police raided their house and found nothing. His family said Iyad was on his way to a nearby school for people with disabilities. Protesters compared Iyad to George Floyd, who was killed by police in the U.S. Palestinians have shown solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. It's the same struggle. Worker struggle is a global one. Injury to one is an injury to all. This is yesterday. It's short, you'll see. And here we go. Marchers down on the Golden Gate in San Francisco yesterday. I love it. I love that this is sustained, that this just keeps going, and city after city after city is not stopping. Look at that crowd, just keeps going. It's the full length of bridge. Amazing. How about some Bad Brains? This is the live Bad Brains Live. It's the name of the LP. From Resistance SF. Thank you to them for that amazing footage. More footage from Minneapolis yesterday. Okay, my comrade says this is good. I tend to trust my comrade's judgment. Nazi heckler walks out. Steve Hofstetter. Okay. Let's see, I want to get that up so we can do this, because I don't think we need to full screen. Here we go.
In Santa Barbara, I had done a joke about how it's the crowd's responsibility to know something about the comedian they're coming to see, since we don't buy tickets to see the crowd. Then, I was working on a new bit that makes fun of Nazis. I'm leaving this material in the clip unedited, so you can see just how many times this woman interrupted me. And also, so you can see that I didn't say anything offensive to anyone except Nazis.
Nazis are the fucking problem right now, which is such a weird thing to have to say in my lifetime. I didn't think I would ever have to say, and by the way, I know you have opinions on the joke, but you can talk to me after the show. So, no, because Nazis, how could Nazis be a problem? Like, how could that be a sentence I have to say unless I was summarizing Raiders of the Lost Ark? Like, that would make sense. Someone's like, hey, you summarized Raiders of the Lost Ark? I've been like, Nazis are the fucking problem. That is what the movie's about. You're exactly right. They marched in Charlottesville and said shit. They said, Jews will not replace us. I'm Jewish. And when I heard that, I thought it was so funny. And here's why. I wasn't offended. How could you be offended at something that fucking dumb? Right. It's so dumb. If your life is such a piece of shit that you need to blame another group for your own problems,
damn right.
No one wants to replace you. They don't have to worry about Jews coming for them. Maybe self-checkout scanners at Walmart. Those are coming. Those are real. Those are here. They should protest those. Stand outside Walmart with a tiki torch they bought from that same Walmart. They have to scan it in themselves. It's just the ultimate indignity, but they know how to do it because they used to work there, you know? Trying to punch in the skew and it's not coming out. Like,
okay, it's enough of dissing people for having to work at Walmart. I mean, fuck racist, but I ain't trying to diss Walmart workers, but
people try to blame on Jewish people. Like Vladimir Putin said that Jews fixed the election for Trump. And a whole bunch of people on Twitter were like, yeah, that's why Jews fixed the election for Trump. For Trump? Are you fucking stupid?
Right.
Jews fixed the election for Trump. For Trump. Not Bernie, but Trump. Really.
Right.
Not the one time we've ever had a shot at the presidency, we fixed it for the other guy. Are you fucking kidding me? The only way I would believe that Jews fixed the... Fuck off! Okay?
Seriously. Good for you, dude.
I am in the middle of a thought. Let me finish my fucking thought. Like I said, I didn't buy a ticket to see you. Okay, so... But let's explore your point. What was it that you thought was so important? What did you say? What?
She just said bye, deplorable.
I couldn't see her leave because she was sitting in the darkness, so it took me a second to figure out what was going on.
She left. She was straight up offended that I was making fun of Nazis. That is amazing. Oh man, I liked it better when they wore pillowcases.
Fucking A.
Maybe was she mad that I like yelled at her to stop interrupting? You told her to fuck off. I told her to fuck off and she was like, oh, good idea. That was actually the easiest, like, heckle stop that's ever happened. I was like, fuck off. She's like,
okay. That's pretty funny.
I gotta be more direct, more obvious. I've never had anybody, like, leave during the Nazi bit. I'm surprised I didn't see her leave. I would have thought I would have heard the boots. I'm still laughing at the fact that lady was just like, and then left. Because when she said, I think she said something about like Trump's support of Israel, and that's why Jews would have fixed the election for him. Which is because I heard a little bit of it, and part of why I steamrolled it is because I was like, what a weird thing, what a hill to die on right now, in the middle of a comedy show. Like, I know you're telling jokes, but let's discuss the Palestine-Israel conflict. I think that'll really help us here. We've all gotten our drinks. I think that's going to help this discussion as well. This couldn't possibly go bad. And then I was like, fuck off. And she's like, yeah, that's probably a better idea.
And then during the Q&A, someone sitting next to the camera asked about it.
How much do I get paid for being your cameraman?
How much do you get paid for being my cameraman? You're not my cameraman. You're just not knocking it over. And by the way, please don't, because that clip, I'm going to need that clip from earlier. That clip's going to get 1 million views. Nazi heckler walks out. Are you fucking kidding me? so bad. You're good people on
It's true.
both sides.
Fucking A.
As it turned out, the guy actually did help. I was a bit off frame when the whole thing started, so he shifted the camera over. Thanks, David. Oh, and one more thing happened during the Q&A.
What's your blood type? Hold on a second.
What's your blood type?
First, but this guy just yelled, "What's your blood type?" which terrifies me.
Yeah, I'd be a little nervous by that question.
Like, do you just go to shows looking for a donor? Like, is that... How fucking long is the waiting list? And he's just like, just in case. I'm just walking back to my car and he's like, "Hey, I have a question for you." That lady's outside perfectly willing to help because she's mad at me, you know, so... I don't even... What's the one that's what's the opposite of the universal donor? What's the one that the least amount of people need? AB negative? Yeah, that's the one I have. That's the one that you can't use. That was the one I have. I actually don't even know my blood type offhand, which sounds dangerous now that I think about it. Especially when I yell at people during shows. I should probably have a transfusion card that says, like, "In case of heckler, here's my blood type."
Thank you for the support, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Like the page and subscribe, all that.
It's just weird, because it's this whole thing. It doesn't surprise me that a woman walked out, because the right wing has so many of these people convinced that, oops. I thought I'm switching it. Anyway, they have so many people convinced that their fascism and their racism isn't fascism and racism. And also that what that means in terms of their assessment of liberals and also real leftists is that when we say, you're a Nazi, we're wrong. We're wrong. We don't know. And we just call anyone we disagree with a Nazi. That's been a huge talking point I've heard for a few years now. You guys just call anyone you don't agree with a Nazi. And then we routinely explain to them, no. There's very, very distinct things that, we look for. Look, there are people who use that term a little too broadly, but it's just... The vast majority of people, when we're going, "Hey man, you're a fucking Nazi," is because you've said some Nazi ass shit. And here's the thing though. The reason people can embrace Nazi thinking, really it's more fascist than Nazi though, too. Like Mussolini was different than Hitler, Franco was different than Mussolini, etc., right? But people who embrace fascism, they have to believe it's not fascism, otherwise they wouldn't embrace it. No one would be like, there are some hardcore Nazi, fucking neo-Nazi people who are like, "I love fascism." But that's because they've been all in as a neo-Nazi for a very long time and they've come to really like fascism. But no one is going to go like, "Oh, you're fascist? Can I please? I'm curious. I'm curious about joining your fascism." That's not a thing. So they have to trick people into thinking that their fascism is something other than what it is. This is how you get, like I said earlier about the Boogaloo Boys, who use their misframing of what anarchism is to justify their chaos and violence. Really buys into all of this total confusing and defining what all of these different things are: fascism, anarchism, etc., etc. But yeah, it's because what this woman is really is a woman who liked the racist dog whistles and the authoritarian dog whistles that were fed to her as being not racist and fascist, even though they are. And so when he says Nazi, she just instantly thinks that everyone's talking about it's just a confused liberal who doesn't understand what Nazi and fascism is and is just blaming anyone they disagree with as that. And we can laugh at this woman for being so backwards and confused, but she didn't just trip over her shoelace and instantly start thinking this way. This was crammed down her throat to think this way very specifically. And a lot of people, liberals have a tendency, not so much leftists, but I've seen liberals, so they want to gaslight him and go, "Oh, She's got mental problems, man. How you gotta be crazy to think that it's wrong to heckle Nazis. Well, it's because she's been force-fed so much crap that's got her understanding of things so backwards and twisted that to us she comes off sounding like irrational, and it is irrational, but not to her, not the way it was explained to her methodically by very, 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 very wealthy and powerful billionaires and their media outlets. So yeah, I think that's probably a good place to go ahead and end the show. We went through a lot of stuff. I think we went through a good solid 24 hours worth of posts. There might be a few more, but I think we've pretty much covered it. So much love to you, fam, for hanging out with us. So much love to all the Punks for Progress comrades that shared all this stuff that contributed to making the show what it was. And really, I appreciate the hell out of all of you guys on the P4P crew, and especially you that are watching too. And just much love to all you people that are out there in the streets sacrificing and giving what you can when you can to make life better for a whole lot of other people. I really appreciate you. So thanks for watching the What the Fuck Report. I'm Reverend Aaron, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, neighbor. Welcome again to this neighborhood. I'd like to show you something. You know what this is? Well, maybe if I press this button. This is a cassette player with a little cassette in here, and there's nothing written on it, so we'll just have to play it to see what it is. Do you ever imagine things? Are they scary things? Are they scary things? Do you ever imagine things? Things you'd like to have? Did you ever see a cat's eyes in the dark and wonder what they were? Did you ever pretend about things like that before? Did you ever pretend about things like that? Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? In the garden of your mind. You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. In the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think, and they'll grow. Imagine every person that you see is somewhat different from every other person in the world. Some can do some things, some can do others. Did you ever think of the many things you've learned to do? Many things you've learned. Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. In the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think, and they'll grow. Did you feel like going like that? Let's give the fish some food. Mr. McFeely, I didn't order any whistle. That's what they call a slide whistle. Did you feel like going like that? There are so many things to learn about in this world. And so many people who can help us learn. And so many people who can help us learn. Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? In the garden of your mind. You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. In the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think, and they'll grow.